Tell me where you come from.
I live currently in New Braunfels, Texas, but I come from Australia. I have done a lot of traveling. I started out when I left school as a hairstylist and I traveled the world doing hair. Something very tragic brought me actually to the United States. My brother committed suicide and I was in New Zealand when he died, and I found myself back in Australia getting in a really dark place and basically got on a plane one day and flew to America, and the rest is history. I've lived here for 15 of the last 20 years. We went back to Australia and our 2 sons were born there. But now we live in New Braunfels, and I help women that are struggling with alcohol use disorder to overcome their addictions. It's something that I struggled with for many years after the suicide of my brother. So now it's something that I passionately help other women with.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I know you just recently stopped drinking too.
I did. It's been 53 days. And,
That's amazing.
honestly, I mean, just with the patients that I see and that I specialize in hormones, it's very interconnected for sure. And I see a lot of women that I could tell could use your assistance with really getting out of the alcohol,
Getting out of the loop.
getting out of the loop.
Yeah. I was able to do it by using structured movements and techniques and reframing how my brain viewed alcohol in those moments where I was having the cravings. So, typical time where I would start drinking would be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So instead, I started doing something different at that exact time and began reframing my cravings for alcohol. So, doing that consistently on a consistent basis over time, small efforts turn into big wins. So,
And it's a neuroplasticity, right? It's like with any other habit behavior, whether it's eating certain foods or not exercising, or you're just kind of retraining the brain.
Reframing the brain, absolutely, and it works. Consistent efforts over time compounds. Yeah, it definitely does. And living an alcohol-free life, I don't know how you feel, best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't be able to go to places and be as successful and reach goals consuming alcohol like I was. When you're, talking to women, especially about how alcohol disrupts hormones, you have to be the one to.
You've got to be living it yourself, right?
Yeah.
It enables you to be able to feel completely authentic in what you're sharing with other women.
Yeah.
When you're living that life yourself, you're exemplifying, that life.
Yeah. And patients know it. They see that, without even asking. You could just energetically know,
Yeah, you can tell someone's fresh, there's no brain fog. You can tell by our skin, we just simply look better when we're not drinking, let's face it.
It's true.
It's like an internal beauty cream. The best beauty cream you'll ever have is stop drinking poison.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah. We're reaching sometimes for all of these miracle lotions and oils and procedures
so much
and
money.
all of this stuff. And just by nature of getting the booze out and, helping the liver. And, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Being able to love who you face every morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible.
So tell me a little bit about bringing virtual assistants into, your business. How does that work now for you?
So now I've been able to free up all of that additional time to focus on alcohol freedom journey because I've outsourced a lot of those tasks from my other businesses.
That's awesome.
How about you?
After being in practice for 15 years and having a lot of in-person employees, overhead was kicking my butt. And when we opened up the possibility of bringing on our first virtual assistants, we were about ready to fire again our front desk employee. And, in Seattle, overhead is, it's outrageous, so to be a provider and have a clinic and try to cover overhead, it's one of the biggest challenges, I think, with our industry.
Yeah.
And so we decided we were going to try to bring in a virtual assistant to take over most of the responsibilities of the front desk office position, and it worked out great. I mean, we've had our first VA for almost a year and a half.
Wow.
And so it's really allowed us, or me, to delegate as much as I can so I can really be the best doctor to my patients, because I'm not stressed thinking about all of the things, the billing, the charting, the calling the patients. I can just let that go and be there for my patients, because that's essentially why I get up in the morning, is to help other
so
people.
you're spending your time doing the things you love rather than the things that you just have to do because you're forced to do them as a business owner.
And now it allows me to travel more, to meet more people, and to see patients because I want to, not because I have to,
Mm-hmm.
because, my overhead has been cut down tremendously. And my clinic is running better now than it was without the virtual assistant. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be hard to relinquish control to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because we're used to doing everything, being a mom, an entrepreneur, a business owner, all of these different things. I'm used to juggling all of these hats. And now all of a sudden, I'm able to outsource the things that I really don't like to do.